So I'm going to do a quick video on how I put the mirrors underneath the handlebars instead of above. You know, when the bike is stock, it comes out of here and here, and they go out and they sit about there. I flipped them because in the stock position, I basically couldn't see out of them without tucking my arms in. They would basically just pick up my elbows and my shoulders, and so I couldn't see behind me. I could basically only use them if I wanted to check the lanes next to me for switching lanes. So I put them underneath, and underneath, I don't know if the camera has the same point of view as my eyes, but from underneath, right below my hands, I can see straight behind me, like there's no obstruction. My elbows aren't in the way, my shoulders not in the way. So out of both sides, I can see basically almost directly behind me, so I can keep an eye on whoever is following me, and I can also see to the sides, no problem. So another reason I did it is simply I just like the look of it more underneath like that. I would have preferred bar end mirrors, the ones that go into the end of the bar, but supposedly on the bolt there's a welded weight in the bar on both sides, so I didn't want to have to try to deal with that, drilling it out and whatnot, so I just went for this instead. Also, it wasn't too expensive. I'll probably put the price on the video of how much all the parts cost me, but from what I remember, it wasn't a lot. So also another concern people have usually is whether or not they're gonna hit the tank, and where you can turn all the way. So if I go all the way to lock, hopefully you can see that in the footage. It doesn't hit here at the elbow where like the stem bends, and it doesn't hit on the mirror itself. And it's the same thing on the other side. This one's a bit closer now. I could set it up so it's a little bit farther away, but I was fine with that. And same thing with the bend back here. Now the only downside for me so far, I'm fairly tall. I'm 6'1", 34-inch inseam, and the bike controls are standard. Like, I haven't changed the handlebars, I haven't changed the foot controls. So when I am actually riding, so when I got my leg up, if I try to turn all the way, it will hit my knee. If you're shorter than me, that probably won't happen. And for me, all I have to do is if I put my foot, instead of having the peg in the middle of my foot, I put it on my toes. It puts my knee lower enough that it won't hit anymore. Because you have to use these clamps to mount the mirrors below the handlebars, you have to mount the levers farther away from the grips. And so what will happen because of that is when you pull the levers in, they will hit the casing for the grips. Now on the clutch side, when you do that, it's still enough to disengage the clutch, so I haven't had any concerns there. My main concerns originally were on the brake side, for obvious reasons, for safety, because yes, it will hit here too. However, through testing, I have noticed I will never pull in the brakes that far. I will basically lock up the front tire if I pull the brakes in that far. Also, let me go back to this side. If I am, pulling in the brakes with two fingers, like most people do, then by the time I'm getting to the point where it's going to hit the plastic, I'm already, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm already hitting my other two fingers. So really, even if I didn't have the levers that far out to hit the plastic, it would still, hit my fingers pulling it that far in. So it didn't seem like a concern to me after I figured that out. And I've had them like this for a while now, and I've had a few times where I've hit the brakes pretty hard, and no issue. I don't come even close to maxing them out. So I'm going to try to show you the parts I had to get to do this. First thing is this clamp here, and I'll try to link all the parts below and where I got them. First things first is this clamp, and then on this side I also have a riser right here, a mirror riser, and I did that just so that it would match the other side, because the other side you have to get a thread reverser so it makes the stem a little bit longer on this side. So I put a riser on this side just so it can match the other side, just to keep everything symmetrical. Another thing I'll talk about is these clamps are the weakest link of all the parts. They're really badly made. Everywhere I've looked that sells them, it's basically the same problem. They're really low quality. They fall apart real easy. So you got to be very careful using them, very careful tightening them. If you tighten them, too tight by even a little bit, they'll start cracking. So for me, when I put the stem in, it actually cracked right here along a line that was already there. So it was like a kind of like a imperfection, I guess you could say, and it cracked along it. So then I had to I improvised, and I just used this screw-in clamp to kind of keep it shut, keep the crack shut, so that I can still use this part. Okay, so on this side, it's basically the same thing. You got the clamp right here, hopefully you can see it. And then I used, so Yamaha does this thing where the mirror on the right side has reverse thread. So you have to get a converter, because these clamps don't have reverse threads. The clamps are right thread, or like your normal clockwise thread. And so you have to get a converter. So I got these things that they look the same as the extensions on the other side, but they're a thread switcher, reverser, whatever you want to call it. So I got one of those in there to switch the threads over, and then I mounted the stem to the thread reverser. And then this stem is shorter than the stem on the other side for whatever reason. I guess the mounting point is a little bit different, so they shape the stem differently for this side. So I got a couple of the extenders, I think they call them mirror risers. Again, I'll link all the parts, but I put a couple of them here to basically extend the stem so it matches more or less the length of the other side, so it's a little bit more symmetrical. And that's it. So basically you just got the mirror clamp. For this side only, you have to get the thread reverser, and then if you want it to be symmetrical like I did, a couple of mirror risers. So yeah, it's pretty easy to do. It's not a big job or anything. The harder thing was just to figure out what parts to get and whatnot, but like I said, I'll list the parts in the description below, so that you guys don't have to worry about any of that. The only other thing I did was I bought these caps for the old mounting points so that they wouldn't collect water and whatnot. You don't have to do that. It's more of a visual thing than anything else, just to clean it up. But yeah, I just got a cap there and a cap here for the old mirror mounting points. So yeah, that's that. Hopefully you found this helpful in some way or informative, and thank you for watching. Peace.